Hello, good morning. Welcome to Better Life. Today, I want to talk to you on obtaining help by prayer, triggering the help of God by prayer, triggering the help of God by prayer. Now, the subject of prayer is a very common subject. People have taught it in different ways and different forms, but I want to please beg you this morning, follow me carefully. Matthew 17, verse 1. Matthew 17, verse 1. Triggering the help of God by prayer. Understand that you can move spirits by praying to them. God is a spirit and you can move God by praying to him. When supplications are made to spirits, it gives them this belief that you are dependent on them. That's why spirit want you to pray to them. Yeah, basically that's why you pray to the person you believe is higher than you and that can answer the prayer. Somebody you believe is stronger than you that can answer the prayer. Somebody you believe has what you want. And that is the place of worship in prayer. Merely going to somebody or to something or to someone to place your requisition, to place your supplication is already a sign that you believe the person is higher than you. That's why the psalmist said, when I am overwhelmed, I will go to the rock that is higher than I. That's what you do in the place of supplication, particularly when you have needs, when you have requests, and you place them. It is one of the ways to trigger the Spirit of God. It is one of the ways to move God. To move God. Now, Matthew 17, verse 1. It is the story of Jesus. Let me read it verbatim. Matthew 17, 1. And after 6 days, Jesus takes Peter, James, and John, his brother, and brings them up into a high mountain apart, and was transfigured before them. And his face did shine as the sun, and his garment was as white as light. And behold, there appeared unto him Moses and Elijah, talking with him. In the place of prayer, thank God that Jesus took men there. He didn't go there alone. You know, he has been going to pray alone several times. But this time he took men there to come and see what happens in the place of prayer. Jesus was going to die. That was his destiny. He came to die that he may resurrect, so that in between his death and resurrection, he would have done certain spiritual works for the sake of mankind. So he came to die. And to die, he needed to be instructed. He needed guidance. Remember, when he prayed at Gethsemane, the scripture said the angel appeared unto him and they helped him. Now, at this place too, on the mountain here, he prayed, and Moses and Elijah appeared to him and they were talking to him. The kind of death he was going to die. They were giving him explanations. They were giving him encouragement. By the time the prayer was over, better direction has been charted. Better path has been made clear. The light of God has come upon his destiny. The light of God has come upon his path. It was easy to move on. Why? He has been encouraged. He has been guided. God sent Moses and Elijah to talk to him. Now, this is what happens in the place of prayer. In the place of prayer, you break through into the spirit. In the place of prayer, you break through into the spirit. And then your prayer will go beyond just mumbling words, just saying something. You will know that your prayer has power. This is exactly what happens. Prayer brings you into the spirit where God exists, so that you can pull down whatever it is you desire from God. Remember the story of Abimelech and Abraham. Abimelech told the wife of Abraham. He didn't know. Abraham told him, she's my sister. And then Abimelech took her in. They put her in a special room, and while they were nursing her, because in those days, kings don't marry a girl and sleep with her immediately. They will nurse her for months, take care of her, to see if she was pregnant or something, and then make her the best of her version before they present her to the king. While they were doing that, before the king touched her, God struck the house of Abimelech with a special disease. And then Abimelech knew that this was not normal. And then God appeared to him in a dream and told him, Abimelech, you are a dead man. He said, you have taken the wife of my prophet. And Abimelech said, Lord, I'm sorry. I don't know you, but you know, I am not a wicked man. The man told me she's my sister. And then God told him, now you will return the man's wife and you will give him an offering. And he specified for Abimelech the kind of offerings to give. So Abimelech rose up and then gave Abraham offering, gave Abraham things, and then God spoke to Abimelech. I want to heal you, but go to Abraham. He must pray for you. God was aware that Abimelech did not know how to pray. But for God to move, somebody has to enter into the spirit. Somebody has to, by way of prayer, enter into the spirit. So God told Abimelech, go and meet Abraham. He will pray for you. Somebody must come to my level. Somebody must enter into my realm and pull down the healing. I want to heal, but somebody has to come into the spirit. In the place of prayer, we enter into the spirit. In the place of prayer, we come to the realms of God. In the place of prayer, we come to the class of God. In the place of prayer, we come to a place that is more like a round table talk with God. It's like somebody who wants knowledge, and then you enroll in school and you leave your house and wear uniform and go to school. There's a responsibility. There's nothing like, God, can't God see me? Does he not know what I'm going through? No. There's nothing like that. You must do things the way they are supposed to be done. How is it supposed to be done? If you want God to do it for you, if you want the assistance of God, you must enter into the spirit. And that's what we do in the place of prayer. When we pray, we enter into the spirit. That was the example that Jesus gave us in Matthew 17. In the place of prayer, we enter into the spirit. And then everything we say, everything we declare, every requisition we put down, heaven accepts them. God gives the answer because we have entered into the spirit. Many people think they are praying, but they are not praying. I think that's where the problem is. Some people spend time in what they call prayer, but it's not actually prayer. They are just talking. They are just complaining. Somebody was praying and then he said, Lord, can you imagine? Look at me at 35. My life should not be like this. Haba now. Haba. See how I started. You are not praying. That's not prayer. You are talking, but you are not praying. Real prayer will take you into the spirit. Real prayer will usher you into the spirit, where you can have conversation with the spirit of just men made perfect, where angels will become your companion. Now listen, you may not see them, but they are there. You may enter into the spirit and not shake. Your head may not feel bigger, but you have actually entered into the spirit. God is a spirit. They that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. God is a spirit. Those that must collect things from God must collect it in spirit and in truth. What makes prayer very important is because that is how we enter into the spirit. That is how we enter into the spirit. Any kind of prayer, any part of prayer brings you into the spirit. Whether prayer of worship, whether prayer of thanksgiving, or prayer of praise, or prayer of supplication, anything that is a part of prayer can bring you into the spirit. There is order in this system. Yeah. You don't just do things anyhow. There is a system. There is a pattern. And if you can't follow pattern, you can't work with God. I tell you, you can have your prayers answered 100% if you understand the systems of God. And this is one of the pivotal key that you must understand how to use. If you want to work with God, if you want God to help you, you must understand the key of prayer and the fact that prayer brings you into the spirit. The spirit realm is a realm where we turn things loose. We lock some doors, we open some doors. Yeah, we push things back and we pull some close. We destroy things and we build new things in the spirit. And then when you come back into the natural system, you will see those things you have done in the spirit happening, life, taking place, life. That's what happens. So in the place of prayer, basically, you actually enter the realm of God. Jesus had to take these three gentlemen with him so that they could see what happens each time they pray. There was a gentleman whose story I read. In the morning when he wanted to pray, he was slotting. He didn't know how to sing much. He was slotting a worship CD. And then he will lift his hands and worship with the CD. In the middle of the worship, at times he will get lost. That was how he learned to pray. And then he will begin to speak in tongues. And then he will begin to pray. And then he will place a requisition. And then he will tell God the things he wanted. In the middle of all of that, when he gets to work, at times he will lift his hand. One of the songs he learned from the tape, he will sing it to the Lord. Lord, I've come to the office today. I thank you. And then he will begin to talk to God. 5-10 minutes. sing one or two worship songs, and then sit down and start the day's work. When he comes back from work, he will slot in the CD again, and then lift his hands again and worship. And worship. After the worship, he will spend some time in prayer, and then continue the evening. He said one day he came back from work, he slot in the CD as usual, and then lifted his hands to worship. And suddenly, the walls of the room disappeared. Angels were everywhere. I could see all of them. Now listen. From the first day that he began to pray like that, angels began to come. They began to increase, because that environment has become an extension of heaven. By that prayer, by that regular prayer, he made that space an extension of heaven. He turned that place to a portal into the spirit. And then, bam, he saw angels after about 3 months plus. Now, the angels have always been there. The moment he began to pray regularly, because listen to this. If you pray once in a while, you cannot attract this kind of a thing. It is consistent prayer, everyday prayer. Angels will recognize that place as a point of connection between earth and heaven. They will come there and live there. So the man knew that, oh, they have been here. That's what has been happening when he became consistent in prayer. Maybe tomorrow I'll be dealing on that. Listen carefully. When we pray, we break through into the spirit. When we pray consistently, we maintain the spirit. You can't live in the spirit if you can't pray regularly, and particularly once in a day, a long prayer. At least once a day, a long prayer. Not 5 minutes prayer around you. In the morning, spend some time. If the morning will not give you time up to an hour to spend with God, in the evening, return from work, rest, and then pray a long time. You need it, and be consistent with it. If you look, what God marks to give people helps at times is not even the prayer as it were, but the fact that they have always been coming to God to mark register in the place of prayer. They have always been coming to mark register in the place of prayer. They have always been coming to mark register in the place of prayer. The day you come with a requisition, the day you come with a need, heaven will answer, because you have been recognized. Angels know you already. Angels are flocking around you. Listen carefully one more time. You may not see them. You may not know they are there, but please know that they are there. We walk by faith, not by sight. 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 We walk by faith. We walk by faith. We walk by faith. Faith means you may not see it, but you know it's happening. You may not see it, but you believe it's there. Yeah. When you pray consistently, this is what happens. This is what happens. You have engineered yourself into the spirit. You have registered a space for yourself in the spirit so much that angels recognize your voice. The moment the voice sparks off, angelic appearances will begin to manifest. Whether you see them or not, that's what is happening. Everywhere you go, we go with that aura. You go with that environment around yourself that is loaded with angelic presence. I'll stop here for today. I want to say God bless you. Enjoy your day. Somebody asked that you didn't mention account number. We have not been mentioning it for a long time. That's not why we are here. But in case you need it, 0103 or 0108359971. 0108359971. Access Bank. 0108359971. Access Bank. Better Life International. You need to call 070 56 66 76 86. 070 56 66 76 86. I love you. See you again tomorrow.